Welcome to day 4 of this R tutorial beginner series. And last time I mentioned that we might go through a more realistic project in today's video, but I realized that we haven't talked about loops, if statements, or even making functions yet. And those are all very, very important aspects of R and any coding language in general. So we're going to go through that today with some really basic examples and kind of end it there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is an if statement. And an if statement is basically just a command that we can use to check if something is true. And if it is true, then we could write some code that'll happen only when that condition is met. So for a really basic example, let's start off with, here, let me make it a little bigger. We'll say if 5 is equals 5, then we want to, let's just print hi. Now, if I run this code, it should just print hi, because in this if statement, we're just checking if 5 is exactly equal to 5, which it is. And we can check that if we come down here to the console here, and I just type 5 equals 5, we get true. So our if statement is true. This should happen. So if I run that, we can see that it does indeed print hi. So that worked out just fine. Now, what if I change one of these 5s to a 6? So let's see what happens now. I should run this and nothing should happen. So I run that, and as we expected, there was no print statement that happened, which is good. So we know how to conditionally make something happen, but what if we want something to happen when that condition is not true? Then all we have to do is add an else statement here, and then in the brackets, let's print, I don't know, our statement or our condition was not met. So now if I run this, it prints our condition was not met. And that happens because if I just type into the console down here, 6 equals 5, that is false, right? Obviously, 6 is not equal to 5, so that is false. So in our if statement, if the condition is not met, we're going to skip everything in the first set of brackets here, all the way down to the else statement, and whatever's in the else statement will actually happen. Now, we can also do this with variables as well, so let's just say that x is equal to 5. And now let's say if x is equal to 5, then we should print hi, and otherwise let's print our condition was not met. So let's run this, and now let's run our if statement, and so it printed out hi, which is correct because our x is equal to 5, and then in our if statement here, we're just checking if x is equal to 5. Perfect. So this double equal sign is checking for equivalence here, but if I ever move the first equal sign and replace it with an exclamation mark, that means that we're checking if x is not equal to 5, okay? So in this case, x is equal to 5. So if we are checking if x is not equal to 5, this should return false. So let's type that in our console here, down here at the bottom, just to make sure, x not equal to 5, enter, and that comes back as false, right? As expected. So since the condition in the if statement is false, we're going to skip whatever's in the first set of brackets and jump down here to the else statement, and it's going to print our condition was not met. So let's test that out. Let's run that, and we get our condition was not met. Perfect. So now let's imagine that instead of x just being equal to 5, let's make x equal to a bunch of numbers. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 10. All right, so this is where we might find a loop to be useful here. So right now our if statement is checking if x is not equal to 5, but as we can see up here, x has the value of more than one number, so we might find it useful to loop through all of the values that are contained in x. To do that, we will use a for loop, so we'll do for, and we'll say for number in x, and then we have our brackets here. And now let's copy and paste, or let's cut and paste our if statement into the for loop. And let's replace this x in the if statement with num. So now, and let's have this be equals to 5. So we're checking for when any of the values in x are equal to 5, and right now none of them are, so why don't we just add 5 in here. So how this for loop is going to work is it's going to cycle through every value of x up here and apply this code that is within the for loop to it. So on the first iteration of this loop, num will actually be 1, so it'll run the code, and then on the second iteration, num will be 2, and it'll run the code again, and so on and so forth. So I got to make sure to rerun the x equals line because we changed what x is equal to. And now if I run this for loop, I'm expecting it to only print hi one time, and all of the other times it should print our condition was not met. Let's run that and see if that happens. And down here in the console, we can see that our condition is not met, our condition is not met, our condition is not met, and then it prints high on the 4th time through. So let's just go up here and make sure that's as we expect. And we can see that for the values of x, that we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4th time through, it's equal to 5. So that makes sense. It should have printed high, which it did. So now you might be thinking this is a little bit ugly to look at, and it is. So instead of having all of this if statement in here, let's create a function to kind of clean this up. So up here, let's make our new function called check condition, and that will be equal to a function that is going to take in a number again, but let's call it something other than num, because we already used the name num over here. Let's call it numval, I don't know. And now we do brackets. And so let's actually just cut and paste this if statement again, and let's put it up here. So now our function is basically just going to be our if statement. And instead of this being num here, we will change that to numval, because our function takes in something called numval. And now in our for loop, instead of having the if statement there every time, all we have to do is say check condition, and then we give it num, because we're still using the variable name of num here in our for loop. So now how this would read is, for every value that's in x, we're going to feed that value to the function check condition. And check condition is just basically our if statement, but wrapped up. So let's run our code from the beginning, control enter to get our function ready. And now let's hit control enter again. And we see that we get the same output as before, except now our for loop looks a lot cleaner. And what's especially nice about functions is we can use this chunk of code again wherever we want, and all we have to do is use check condition instead of writing out this entire if statement again. So for example, if later in my code I find myself wanting to check if something is equal to 5 again, all I would have to do is check condition, and then I feed it a numeric value, so let's say 10. Then I hit control enter, and we can see our condition was not met, because obviously 10 is not equal to 5. And I know this is a really basic example for this, but this really highlights the point that if I need to reuse a function a bunch of times and it's more complex than just an if statement here, it's extremely useful to have this simplified version of it. You need to define your function one time, and then all of the code within that function can be rerun easily just by calling that function. And a lot of times people will have an entire separate file that just is full of functions, and then your main script is just going to utilize those functions. So a lot of times these really complex, messy functions are just stored somewhere else, and then in your clean code, all you're doing is calling those functions. And I think that's where we're going to stop today. So if you found this useful, make sure you drop a follow and subscribe. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. I know this stuff can be confusing when you're still getting started. So if you need any extra help, drop a comment and I'll try to help you out.